This is a value on sequences and finding terms in a sequence. First, I want to have a look at how we name terms in a sequence. We can name terms in a sequence using term number. So this is the first term in my sequence, so I can call it T1. 8 is my second term, I can call it T2. Subsequent terms can be called T3, T4, T5, and so on. So in green we have the term number, and in purple we have the term values. So term 1 is worth 3, term 2 is worth 8, and so on. I could say, for example, that term 1 equals 3, term 2 equals 8, etc. There's a connection between the term number and the term value, and this is called the term rule. The term rule is often called Tn. The term rule for this particular sequence is 5n minus 2, and in a later video we'll look at how to find term rule. Right now we're just going to look at how to use it. So if I know which term I want to find in a sequence, that is represented by n. So say, for example, in this case, I want to find term 6. That's the next term in my sequence. Take a moment to have a think. What would you predict the next term in the sequence would be? And you can use term-to-term difference or first difference to help you work this out. Okay, so now that you think you know what the answer is, let's work it out and see if you're correct. So I want to find term 6. If I know the term rule, in this case 5n minus 2, all I have to do is fill in the term number in for n. So you can see here in the rule it's n, and I want 6. So in my calculation, I'm going to replace n with 6. When I work this out, I get a solution of 28. Now, it was easy for me to figure out the next term in my sequence without even using the term rule. But where the term rule really becomes convenient is if I want to find a term that's way down my sequences list that I'd have to do a lot of work to get to. So say, for example, if I wanted to find the 100th term in the sequence. So I want to find term 100. Well, all I have to do is go to my term rule, and where I see n, fill in 100. And then I can evaluate. So you can use your calculator for this bit. So I type it in and I get 498 out. So it's really, really easy and quick for me to find any term in my sequence, in any position that I like, once I know the term rule. I don't even necessarily need to know the rest of the sequence, as we'll see in this example. So this example gives me a term rule. It says Tn equals 8n plus 7. And it asks me to find the 20th term of the sequence. Well, this is easy to do. I want to find T20, so I go to my term rule and I fill in 20 for n. Just make sure to put it in brackets. So I've got 8 times 20 plus 7 into the calculator, and I get 167. So the 20th term in the sequence for this particular case would be 167. Here's my second example. Again, I don't have any actual sequence listed out for me, but I do have the term rule. And this time the term rule is Tn equals n squared minus 3. And I'm asked to find the first 3 terms of the sequence. So what are they asking me for here? Well, the first 3 terms of the sequence will be T1, T2, and T3. So I want to work those out. It would be a good idea at this stage to pause the video and calculate this yourself. Then play and see if you're correct. Okay, so first of all, I want to find term 1. So again, it's a case of replacing that n with the term number that I want. Make sure to put the term number in brackets, and if there's a power, put the power outside the bracket. Go to your calculator and evaluate, and in this case I get minus 2, so the first term in the sequence is minus 2. Next I want to find term 2, so that's 2 squared minus 3, in this case that's 1. And finally I want to find term 3, so that's 3 squared minus 3, which is 6.